Happy New Year, everyone. Hope you've had a good festive period and enjoyed your Christmas and New Year, and now you're back and ready to go back to training if you haven't already. I've been back a few times this side of the new year, and I can't say it was an easy time being back in the mats, but it's good to be back. And with the start of a new year becomes some opportunity for goals and aspirations. Like some of you may have a target of getting the next belt or getting better in general. And so why don't we talk about that? Why don't we talk about how you can learn techniques faster, how you can learn faster. I have a kind of a background goal not to get a new belt by the end of this year, but I do have kind of like this background goal of getting a black belt by the age of 40. I think that's just a good age and it's a good round number, and I've got a few years to try and get that, but I have to learn techniques and I have to be better in order to do that. So how do we do that? How do you get better faster? How do you learn the things which are shown in classes and on the mats? And I have a few things here that talk about how I find it easy to learn or easier to learn certain things. And so one thing I would say is to have a narrow focus. Having a narrow focus definitely helps you actually learn things. Because most of us aren't gifted savants. Most of us won't just have a technique or a principle down as soon as we hear it or see it. We need to take time, and so having a focus, narrow focus, definitely helps with that. I'd also say as well, being consistent over time, but not just, your professor may just say to you, just keep showing up, and to a degree that is true. However, you know that not showing up and just showing up is not enough. It's how you show up, and so you want to be consistent over time with patience. You have to be patient with yourself. You have to be patient with the process of learning, and that there's certain things that won't just sink into place the first few times you try it. You have to be consistent and patient over time, okay? And I would say also, when things don't work, choose curiosity over frustration. Choose curiosity over frustration. It's easy to get to the point of frustration where stuff doesn't work. You may get swept by the same thing over and over again, or tapped out by the same thing over and over again, or somebody keeps landing the same kind of shot on you over and over again. And rather than being frustrated, which is easy, choose curiosity, saying, "What? I wonder why this keeps happening." Not just the generic "because you suck," right? There's specific things as to why these things are a struggle, and so going into curiosity, say it's like a point of research. Okay, like I keep getting swept to my left side, so how can I make my base better? Like those kind of things. Curious, so I wonder why it doesn't work, rather than being angry and annoyed and maybe storm off, rage quit the mats because something doesn't work. Choose curiosity instead, and that will help you learn. Also relaxing, with that being said, relaxing and taking yourself not so seriously puts you in a great mindset. And certainly when it comes to training, it's more of a laboratory than an arena. Relax. You're not trying to kill your training partners, and you're not fighting for your life, or at least I hope you're not, okay? Relax, don't take yourself too seriously, and you'll put yourself in a good mindset to learn about what's going on. And lastly, I would say to ask questions as well about what you're struggling with. There are people like professors, coaches, or whoever else are around you, and they're able to catch you and stuff and put you in problematic situations. They could probably give you some pointers as to avoid being put in those situations. And so ask questions. If you're struggling with getting your guard passed in certain positions or situations, ask, and then they can give you specific things to then give you a frame of reference to think about. So then you can practice and then move on. Then hopefully that game or gap in your game closes and closes and closes, and you get better. So with all that being said, there are some things which you will have to take into consideration as to why things may be difficult, or why you may not learn at the rate you want. First thing is, your general skill will determine how you can learn, okay? There's a grand difference, but say a white belt learning something like a sweep from reverse de la Riva will learn that differently from a brown belt and doing the same techniques. Why? Because the base of understanding is different. You may be new, and so there's certain concepts and elements which you cannot fully grasp at that stage of learning. And so being patient in the early stages definitely pays off, because you still need to develop a lot of mechanics to then get more advanced or unknown stuff to work consistently. So your general skill will determine how you can learn certain things. I would say also with that, it's how good are you at related things, right? I'm from a Jeet Kune Do school, and one of the things that we often practice is, we practice a lot of different martial arts, and so we try to see the similarities which link the certain arts. For example, kickboxing and Thai boxing, Silat and some of the jiu-jitsu elements, and there's so many things which can overlap, and what we want to do is try and see what overlaps so then we can be more effective in different things. Same with jiu-jitsu, same with learning techniques. There are similar positions. For example, you want an omoplata, right? Okay, so you've got a good omoplata, and then you hear of the monoplata. Oh, what's that? And so your very similar mechanics are required for both moves, if you understand. So how good are you at related things? And then that'll help you in learning the new thing, bridging the gap into what you don't already fully know. And so also how you engage with teaching. How are you when you are watching or listening to instruction? Are you focused? Are you engaged? Are you having a conversation with somebody in the mats? Are you at the toilets? Or, how are you engaged when you're actually receiving instruction? Because that will determine how you can then do what you were told. If you don't listen, it's very difficult to then do what you're told. We know that if you're like me, you're a parent, and we know if our kids have listened to us, if they do what they're told, okay? And so how do we engage when we are listening to instruction? And that'll help how we learn. Next thing is how you can then adapt what you learn to your body type. Can you fit what you're learning to your body type? Okay, and that's really how we can see somebody like Mikey Musumeci, for example, and to teach what he knows to somebody who's maybe 17 stone and 5'3", it might be difficult to do some of the same techniques because the body types are different and the flexibility will likely be different, mobility, what have you. And so you have to take into consideration your body type, and that will actually affect the things you learn, and you may have to adapt what you see to your own body type. And again, your own skill level will help you do that. If you're a white belt, for example, or a blue belt, you may not have full understanding of what your body type can do versus a purple and beyond who has more time on the mat using their body to do jiu-jitsu or do martial arts. And so they have a better understanding of how they can need to adapt certain things to fit them, so that they can actually have it as something they can use, maybe not even their A game, but a B game or something they can do when the situation arises. Okay, so how do you learn techniques faster? There are no shortcuts, but you can address it with a bit of wisdom. There are certain things which you can do now, and there are certain things that you can do to help you bridge the gap into new techniques. And it won't necessarily happen overnight, but being patient and smart with it and choosing curiosity about why stuff doesn't work, then you will get better. How fast that is up to you, but I'll leave that with you. And I hope this year you have good success in the mats, good time in the mats. And if it is your goal to get to that next promotion, that isn't up to you, but getting better is. And so all the best for that. Good luck in your training. See you in the next